You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Bromo018. Link in the description. Do it now. As we begin to approach the likes of E3 and Gamescom, the announcement for PES 2020 is getting ever closer. With that comes more and more speculation about what new additions we can expect with Konami's next installment of the football video game franchise. In this video, I'm going to be exploring what stadiums can realistically be added to PES in Pro Evo 2020. What stadiums can legitimately be considered as contenders for Konami to license them in the game? Well, we're going to take a look. Please note that this isn't a personal wish list of stadiums that I want to see added. This is merely looking at what I believe could actually be introduced into the game. Taking a look at past trends that Konami have set and potential new markets that the company may want to penetrate, so bear that in mind. What's important to note is that there were over 10 new stadiums that came new to the game in Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 from a whole range of different countries. Some of these were added before release, such as Schalke's Veltins Arena and Ajax's Johan Cruyff Arena, whereas there were others that came along as part of data packs like Ibrox Stadium and Celtic Park. Either way, I think it's fair to say that fans of the PES franchise have every right to be expectant that we are going to see quite a few new arenas introduced to the game in PES 2020 to look forward to, on top of Konami retaining the rights to the stadiums that are already featured in Pro Evo 2019. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what moves we can potentially expect Konami to make in this area. As always, if there are any stadiums that you want to see in Pro Evolution Soccer, then make sure that you let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any more thoughts on stadiums that could realistically come to the game, then make sure you hit me up in the comment section as well. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, it wouldn't be Pro Evo if Konami didn't announce a brand new European partner or two. It's something that seems to happen every year now. Think of the likes of Schalke, Dortmund, Liverpool, Monaco, Barcelona, etc. I think that this occurrence is going to continue for PES 2020 as well. If I was a betting man, I'd have my money on one of the teams in either Germany or France. Perhaps even both, depending on their budget allocation. They usually like to have multiple partners in each country with their stadiums to pair up with it. They already have this in England with Liverpool and Arsenal, in Holland with Ajax and Feyenoord, in Italy with the two Milan clubs and the two Rome clubs, remember that they ground share, and they did have this in Spain last year with Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. However, it's going to be hard for Konami to obtain another stadium and partnership license in Spain because of the fact that EA have acquired the rights to all of the La Liga stadiums in what I believe is an exclusive deal, and a reason why the Wanda Metropolitano didn't return to the franchise in PES 2019. So that leaves just two of the major European leagues left to go, Germany and France. With Germany, the company already has the license for Bayer Leverkusen, which makes them a good shout for the next stadium addition. It's one that is featured neither in FIFA or Pro Evo at this moment. It's clear that Konami have been trying to penetrate the German market, and I think a club like Leverkusen could work. Big club with a reputation on the continental scale, it seems like a decent fit. For France, they of course became partners with Monaco and released the Stade Louis II as part of the Data Pack 2.0. They have no other stadiums in the French league to match though. The Parc des Princes is currently on FIFA, and whilst I found nothing tangible to suggest it, the consensus is that this is an exclusive license. I don't see Konami paying over the odds to obtain it like EA did with Dortmund's Signal Iduna Park. My money would be on one of either Lyon or Marseille, and as Marseille's ground is already present in FIFA, Lyon seems like a good bet. Moving across Europe towards the east now, we switch our attention to the Russian Premier League. Konami revealed that they had obtained the exclusive rights to the division during the announcement phase at E3. This came as a bit of a shock to fans because it felt like a slightly random move, but they went along with it either way. Should they retain this exclusivity deal for PES 2020, then surely it makes sense for them to add a stadium or two from Russia. Otherwise, what is even the point of having that exclusive rights deal if you aren't going to make proper use of it? There are plenty of obvious candidates for Konami to target here. One of the many Moscow teams like Spartak or CSKA, a Rostov or Zenit St. Petersburg would be the real big catch. I've seen talk of EA having the exclusive rights to these stadiums because they of course used them during the FIFA 18 World Cup 2018 DLC. However, judging by the fact that they aren't present in FIFA 19, leads me to believe that these were in fact agreements with the FIFA organisation for international matches, and they therefore did not agree any deals with the clubs of those respected grounds. Therefore, I believe that Konami would be well within their right to approach the clubs and acquire the rights to the stadiums. Before we move on to other continents, one more addition that I would quickly like to mention is that of a stadium in the Scandinavian countries. This is an area Konami hadn't really touched all that often until the announcement of the Danish Super League edition for PES 2019. Couple that with the fact that they have Malmo of Sweden officially licensed as part of the other European teams, and I think the addition of one of the stadiums in those countries is likely. Malmo or Copenhagen would be the obvious bets due to the size and reputation of both clubs. You may think that this is random, but Konami have been known to do this before. Don't forget that the stadium of FC Basel, St. Jakob Park, is officially licensed in PES 2019. They want to target the big teams in these European countries, and this is another example of that, so don't write it off. We move on to Asia now, and there's quite a few directions that Konami could take this. They have the Asian Champions League, at least for now, so they could partner with a range of clubs in that competition, or they can specifically focus on the Asian leagues that they added earlier in PES 2019 through data packs, the Chinese Super League and the Thai League. The Chinese Super League is going to be the target in my opinion. Not only do you have this enormous market in that country, but you also have teams that are making big moves in the transfer market and attracting massive names to play there. I think this is going to be enough to persuade them to add value to this league in the game. The big clubs of that division like Jiangsu Evergrande and the two Shanghai teams, SIPG and Shenhua, would be the three obvious bets. I'd personally say Evergrande and SIPG would be the two frontrunners. Shanghai have an impressive 80,000 seater stadium, which is obviously going to be an appealing factor for Konami to get their teeth stuck into. On the other hand, Evergrande are the #1 club in China currently and have the factor of Fabio Cannavaro as manager for that global appeal. On the other hand, they could come much closer to home with a stadium or two belonging to the Japanese clubs. They already have 4 licensed with the AFC Champions League, but there are plenty of rumours swirling around that Konami are trying to, or have already obtained the licenses to the J-League, in which case the company will get a free pick of the team they want. Konami already have the license to the Japan National Stadium, the Saitama Stadium, with EA having acquired the league and actually implemented a stadium of one of the Japanese clubs, Gamba Osaka. I think Konami are going to want to retaliate as a Japanese company and assert dominance in their own country. Don't write it off. Moving on to South America now. At the moment, this is Konami's cash cow. They have a greater market share in this continent than anywhere else, which is why you see so many additions on the South American front. Brazil is a nation in particular that they have really gone heavy on in recent years. They already have 9 of the stadiums belonging to 10 Brazilian teams. The Maracanã is shared by Flamengo and Fluminense, which far surpasses any other country for stadium numbers on PES. In all fairness, This is one of the few things that Konami have over EA. Their South American experience on the game far surpasses what FIFA can offer. I don't think they're going to stop there until they have the complete set. With that in mind, expect more Brazilian stadiums to arrive in PES 2020. It seems like the easiest prediction of them all. In addition to this, I believe that it's almost guaranteed that we see the grounds of both Independiente and Racing Club added. However, whether this will be in PES 2020 is another matter. I think they'll both be made official partners of Konami, like what we saw with River Plate and Boca Juniors. However, seeing as the two clubs are both rivals, it seems only likely that they get announced and released at the same time, just like what we saw with Rangers and Celtic. As a result, it may come down to a budget factor as to whether or not this happens in PES 2020 or later on down the line. However, as the company looks to add value and depth to the leagues in South America, this just comes across to me as a no-brainer move. But we'll see. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with my thinking for these stadiums realistically being introduced to Pro Evolution Soccer? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more regular gaming content from the likes of PES and FIFA. Give me a follow on Twitter using the Twitter handle @Bromo018. The link for that is in the description. And on that note, I'm Bromo18, and I'll see you next time.